Just a quick disclaimer before this video starts. This video is not going over the 10 best cards of 2K25 Myteam. I'm going to be going over the top 10 cards for their time and factoring in things like the time they came out, their longevity, how good they were for periods of like months at a time. So mostly going to be featuring earlier cards. Starting off the list at number 10, we have Pink Diamond Paul George from the Dunktober set. Paul George was a 6'8" Pink Diamond point guard from one of the last Season 1 drops of the year. This card was absolutely insane, and at this point in the year, there weren't very many cards that could move whatsoever in shot create at the 2. Paul George was one of those first cards that had a lot of elite longevity gameplay-wise because of the fact that his own pro play SIGs were able to create a lot of space, and his jumper was super nice. As you guys can see from the gameplay, shout out to JC, all these gameplays, if I wasn't able to do gameplay with them, I will credit the creator in the top left, so make sure you guys go show love. But back to what I was saying, this Paul George card was absolutely elite for his time. They introduced the pro play feature this year, so there were a lot of cards that really weren't able to move because their animations were so garbage, because 2K was so keen on trying to make everything realistic. And Paul George, as we all know, usually has a lot of really good spin jumpers, hop steps, snatchbacks, and things like that, including an elite jumper. This was back when everybody was still button shooting. As you guys can see from the gameplay, there's a lot of button shooting going on earlier in the year, and he was absolutely elite. You could run this card if you gave him some extra Hall of Fame badges until his Opal came out in Season 4. That was how good this card is. If you got him at the end of Season 1, you could literally run him for months. This card was absolutely elite, one of the more fun cards in NBA 2K25, and that is why he is at number 10 on the list. At number 9, I have Dark Matter Cedric Maxwell. Cedric Maxwell was from Season 7 from the Festival of Champions drop. He was one of the first Dark Matter cards that got the Steve Francis size up, the Trey escape, and the Trey behind the back and the Kemba escape. One of the first cards with really good all-around SIGs and one of the best free cards that could move at the time. He competed with the top shooting guards, which were Invincibles and 100 overalls at the time, because he was 6'8" at the 2, had a really elite jumper, very quick, very smooth, very easy to rhythm shoot, things like that. This card was absolutely elite. He could defend, and of course he could dunk the ball as well. He had the Garland dribble style, and this card was very, very elite, and you could get him for pretty much just entering a locker code. You didn't have to do anything crazy. As you guys can see from the JC2K gameplay in the background, this card was absolutely moving, playing absolutely elite, and doing everything that you needed out of a shooting guard. You could pretty much enter a locker code, get this card for free. All you had to do is do a couple of challenges if you couldn't get him straight off that locker code. But as you guys can see, he was absolutely moving, absolutely elite, and Cedric Maxwell was one of the best shooting guards for his time, and that is why I have him at number 9 on this list. At number 8 is going to be Galaxy Opal Jason Richardson from the Season 4 All-Star Festival. One of the first festivals we got, and this card was absolutely elite. A 6'6" shooting guard who could move, play defense, and shoot the lights out. As you guys can see from the splash gameplay in the background, this card was absolutely moving. He had a really good size up, a really good jumper, and he could fade as well, along with being an absolutely elite slasher. I believe he also had the Garland dribble style, which was a big thing at the time. He had a nice fade. You could rhythm shoot, button shoot with this card as well. And he had really solid stats for a Galaxy Opal at this time. A 99 driving dunk, 90 ball handle, 96 speed with elite badges. He absolutely ran the game. There was not one game you went without seeing this card. Almost everybody had this card on their squad, and there was a reason for it. He was one of the first cards that could truly 3-hunt at an elite level, slash and defend and play make at the same time. Doing all 4 of the main 4 big categories that you want out of a card. He was one of the first shooting guards to be able to do that in the entire game, and his longevity was also elite. As you guys can see, the jumper was super quick, the defending was nice, and he could slash at an elite level as well, especially if you badge this card out. Yes, he was a little bit small, but in February this card was absolutely elite, and yeah, that is why he is at number 8 on this list. At number 7, I have Dark Matter Dikembe Mutombo from Season 6 from the Glitch Drop. Dikembe was a 7'2" power forward who could shoot the 3-ball with an absolutely elite jumper, could of course rebound and defend at an elite level with a 99 block and 98 rebounding, but also had 91 speed and could shoot. Like I said, that is why he was glitched. He had a 94 3-ball, 92 midi, 95 standing and driving dunk, and had very high speed. The only thing he really couldn't do was dribble too well, but he did have an 86 ball handle. His SIGs weren't great, but this card was absolutely elite. 7'2" at the power forward position, coming with, I believe, 22 to 24 base Hall of Fame badges, was absolutely elite. Yeah, 24 base Hoffs. This card was absolutely insane, especially if you badged him out. He could play for literally the rest of the year. You could still have this card on your team and compete at a high level. His jumper was just that good, as you guys can see from the background gameplay, shooting absolutely everything, making a bunch of tough shots, and really just doing everything that you needed from a power forward at that time, especially at 7'2". That is why I have Dark Matter Dikembe at number 7. At number 6 on this list, I have Pink Diamond Franz Wagner from one of the first festivals, the Winter Festival in Season 3. This came out just around Christmas. We got Opal, Kawhi, Dark Matter, Shaq, and Franz. Franz was a 6'10" 2-guard at this point in the year, which was absolutely ridiculous. You could get him for pretty much free. You just had to do a couple of challenges, get some Pink Diamond pieces. He had a 93 ball, 85 driving dunk, could dribble the ball. Had really solid defense as well with good speed, good rebounding, really solid all-around stats. Had about 11 Hall of Fame badges, and this card was elite. 6'10" at the 2 with a lightning fast jumper. You guys can see from the gameplay how fast his jump shot was. He was absolutely elite for his time. The only complaint were he did get a bunch of load-ups when he did get tired because his base was just a little bit iffy. And the other thing was his SIGs just weren't too good. He did have the Devin Booker dribble style, but other than that, he just really couldn't move as well as some people wanted him to. But other than that, this card was absolutely elite, could play absolutely elite defense, shoot the ball at an elite clip, and of course was an elite defender at 6'10" at the 2. With that being said, that is why I have Pink Diamond Franz Wagner at number 6 on this list. At number 5 on this list, I do have Pink Diamond Michael Beasley. Pink Diamond Michael Beasley came out with the Lunar New Year drop in Season 4. He was a Pink Diamond 6'9" at the 3 with the best jumper in the game, Cam Thomas with the Oscar upper. One of the fastest jumpers in the game, one of the smoothest, one of the quickest, and you could literally shoot insane shots. He came with 11 Hall of Fame badges, and he was a good defender as well. He had a good behind the back. He had a decent escape. He could move a little bit. His dribble style wasn't great, but other than that, if you could wiggle your way around screens, and if you could get just an inch of space, this card would knock down pretty much every shot. As you guys can see from the splashy gameplay in the background, he had a good snatchback as well, which is what allowed this card to create a lot of space. As you guys can see, he's absolutely moving, and his jumper is still one of the best jumpers in the game. It's either Patty base or Cam Thomas base, and a lot of people would say Cam Thomas base is better this year for rhythm shooting. So he had debatably the best jumper in the game in Season 4. Just think about that. He also had a really solid fade. You could create a lot of space with his upper. You were greening insanely tough shots, and that is why I have Pink Diamond Michael Beasley at number 5 on this list. At number 4 on this list, I have Diamond Paulo Beno. Paulo Beno is a 6'10" Diamond 3, and he came out with the first drop in Season 2, Poetry in Motion. Paulo was another guy like Paul George, where in the beginning of the year, when a lot of cards didn't have great SIGs, didn't have great jumpers, he did because of his pro play animations. He could move, he could shoot, and he could play absolutely elite defense while being a capable slasher as well. As you guys can see from the gameplay, this is gameplay from really early in Myteam, where a lot of people didn't have great squads. Diamonds and Pink Diamonds were the highest overall cards. Paulo had an absolutely elite jumper, could play absolutely elite defense, and was able to slash at an elite level. This card could run for literally months. You could run him until about Season 4, maybe Season 5 if you badged him up, but especially if you put around 20 Hoffs on this card, or even maxed him out with 40 Hall of Fame badges, you could run this card for literally months. This card came out with the first drop of Season 2 and literally was insane from then until he got outclassed by his Opal in Season 4. Paulo is one of those guys with pro play that's going to be insane every single year. And yeah, I'm excited to see what Paulo cards we get next year, but that is why I have him at number 4 on this list. At number 3 on this list, I have 100 overall Tim Duncan, who was the season 6 level 40 reward. He was the first 100 overall that a lot of people got. He was the level 40 reward, as I said. He had the Kevin Porter Jr. base as a 6'11" power forward with absolutely elite 6. He had a great behind the back, the Garland dribble style, the tray behind the back. He could move as well. He had the Kemba escape, like I said. He was really moving and was one of the first cards that a lot of people got that could actually move at an elite level. And to go with the fact that he was 6'11" at the 4, so that made it so this card could run pretty much till the end of the year. His jumper was absolutely elite, super fast, elite with the rhythm shooting. As you guys can see here, he was the best card on my team when I got him, and I was a diamond rep at the time. He was absolutely insane, was moving crazy. If you knew how to rhythm shoot and dribble, you could literally score every time. He had the Pro 2 fade, pretty much perfect. He had a couple SIGs that weren't elite perfect, but at the time in season 6, he was one of the best cards in the game, was competing with all of the top money spent cards, all the festival cards, things like that. And he was absolutely elite in Park, Showdown, and everything like that. He could compete in every single mode. And yeah, people were still running him in Park in like season 7, season 8, things like that. He had elite longevity. His jumper was super quick. As you guys can see, this one's actually my gameplay, so hopefully it isn't too bad. But yeah, man, this card was absolutely elite, had a lot of elite longevity, especially if you gave him legend badges and things like that. This card could run for a while, especially since the fact that he had all those good SIGs and jumpers at 6'11". That is why I have 100 overall Tim Duncan at number 3 on this list. At number 2 on this list, I have Pink Diamond Victor Wembanyama. You guys knew it was coming. Wemby absolutely ran the game this year, and I was really debating between the Opal and the Pink Diamond, and I think the Pink Diamond just had a bigger impact on the game. Yes, he was slow, and yes, the Opal I think ran for longer on people's teams, but Pink Diamond Wemby, if you matched up against this card and you did not have a good center, you could not do anything. He could literally just shoot over you and it would be open or wide open every single time. I think Opal Wemby had a little bit of a harder time because there were better centers at that time, like Dark Matters and 100 overalls when we started to get Dikembe's, Mark Eaton's, things like that. But when Pink Diamond Wemby came out, he came out with the Dia de los Muertos set in season 2. This card came out in the middle of season 2. There weren't any cards that could combat him. 6'4" with an absolutely elite jumper, especially if you badged him out, things like that. He had an 87 3-ball at drop, could dunk the ball, had decent speed. He had a 79 speed, but if you boosted that up with elite defense, he was absolutely insane. Came with 9 base Hall of Fame badges, especially if you badged him out. You could literally just shoot over people. Wemby is one of those cards with pro play that is going to be absolutely insane because his jumper is just so good with his player model. We're going to be getting a lot of elite Wemby cards, and I would really recommend that you guys save your MT for when we get a Wemby card. As you guys can see from HTB's gameplay in the back, you could just shoot over people, and this was before a lot of people started rhythm shooting. This was when a lot of people were still using the button, which rhythm shooting was objectively better. So he was just absolutely insane, could run on your team literally until February when the Opal came out. This card came out in October. Absolutely insane. That is why I have Pink Diamond Victor Wembanyama at number 2 on this list. And with that being said, that leaves only one man. It is going to be Pink Diamond LeBron James at number 1. This card came out day 1 of NBA 2K25 Myteam. He was a 6'9" small forward with an absolutely insane card. 97 driving dunk, 89 3-ball, 87 ball handle with pretty much 80 plus in every defensive category, 95 speed with 5 base Hall of Fame badges. Like I said, this card came out day 1. He had pretty solid SIGs, a good drag back. The LeBron jumper was pretty solid this year. This card could run for literally months. He was the best slasher and the best defender in the game for literally months, especially if you badged this card out. And he was a capable shooter with an 80 plus 3-ball. With his super high speed and everything like that, this card remained on people's lineups for such a long time, and I just really think he was the most impactful card because yeah, Wemby was cool, but a lot of people didn't have access to this card. This card was more accessible than Wemby. He wasn't 1 to 2 mil at all times. You could get him for around 400 to 500k day 1, which really isn't too much because all of the Wemby cards were 1 to 2 mil when they first came out, not 400k. So this card was a lot easier to access than Wemby, and I think he was objectively better because he was the best card
overall in the game, because he was the best slasher, best shooter, best defender. He could shot create at an elite level, and he ran the game for months. That is going to do it for the video. Let me know what you guys thought of this list. Thank you guys so much for 3,000 subscribers. NBA 2K26 comes out in in about 11 days, so I'm super duper excited, man. The grind to 10K is going to start as soon as that game drops. Be on the lookout for more videos. If there's any videos you guys do want to see from me before NBA 2K26 comes out, let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe, and yeah, I'm out.